All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man, Jay Will. So, I wanted to bring out a couple of phones right now that are unlocked to work on different carriers. And when you live unlocked, you have to pay a pretty penny sometimes, according to the current market of cell phone users and reviewers. They feel like you need to go out and spend $1,000 on a phone. You don't technically have to do that. Now, granted, you won't get the highest processor and you won't get the fastest speeds in the device, but you'll still get a good device. And these phones right here, some of them offer things that the flagship phones offer, just the internals are a little different. So I wanted to touch on these few phones right here. This is the Blade Max 2S by ZTE. This is the new Mobile G3, and this is the Blade Max View. And of these phones, I think this one's probably offering the most bang for buck when you think about spending $200. Now, all of these phones are good to me. They're all good. And there's other contenders out there from Motorola. Who else? LG has some kind of budget-friendly phones, but the LG phones, they're not running stock Android, and the skin overlay starts to lag a little bit. I've learned with my experience of using some of their pocket-friendly phones. I do have some down under the table that I just feel not to bring them out because I don't think they can compete with these phones right here. However, this phone right here works on Verizon. Basically, it works on all the carriers except for Sprint and Boost. And this one works on all the carriers except for Verizon. And this one just works on GSM providers. No Verizon, no Sprint, no Boost, and all that. All of these are great. This phone, however, offers a headphone jack, stereo speakers, Type-C for all of these. This has a metal build, a dual camera setup, a fingerprint reader. It has got a 6-inch 1080p display, which is absolutely great. And I could truly appreciate this. And I'm so shocked that this phone costs $200. Now, before the software update, I really was not feeling this phone. And I made it clear online that I wasn't feeling it. I didn't, just the software. I like the hardware. I made a video about it. Not so great hardware, but killer, not so great software, but killer hardware. I let it be known, but they promised to get us an update in December, and they delivered on it. And if you haven't updated your phone yet, and you have this phone, update it. Just go into the settings, go to About System, you know how to do it, and get your software updated to stock Android. You're going to be getting a whole bunch of a big upgrade compared to what this phone used to look like. It has 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs onboard storage. You've got, again, that metal build. You've got the SD card slot. You've got a headphone jack, which is something a lot of phones don't offer. And I've got phones that cost a heck of a lot more that don't offer a headphone jack. And I've learned that today's customers want to use 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks. And it's something that they feel is essential, and I cannot knock them for that. So basically, in this video, I just wanted to discuss living unlocked or buying carrier phones and vice versa. So there's some advantages to buying carrier phones because you can actually finance them, meaning you can put them on your bill. You pay a small portion down for taxes or something like that, and then you pay a monthly fee for the phone, and you just keep using it, and you pay it off, and it's yours. But a lot of people get caught up into that $1,000 phone cycle to where they're hardly ever being able to pay off this phone. They do have trade-in programs and things like that. I personally would tell a person, do not get mixed up into these trade-in programs, or don't buy a phone that's $1,000 and then a year later you pay $500. You paid half of it off, then you give it up, you trade it in and go to the next version. This is something that the carriers want you to do. They don't want you to live unlocked. They want you to have that bill because they want you to stay committed to them, which is something that they're already getting you to pay your bill monthly, and then they're making you pay for your phone too. Unless there's some sweet deal, like the best deal I've ever done. I hadn't financed a phone, and I financed this phone, but I still went in and paid it off because I got my credits now. So they sold this phone for $290. You pay it off and you still get a credit for 2 years. And I think that's the best deal I've done for financing a phone. Other than that, that deal isn't available anymore, by the way. That was just at launch before you guys asked. So I would tell a person, if you can avoid financing a phone, just don't do it. Do not finance a phone if you don't have to. There are plenty of options out there where you can find a good phone for under $250, and I've laid them out right here. This is just a few of them. I have a ton of other phones that are under $250 that I feel are even better than these options right here, but they're not officially launched in the US, so I don't want to take people through the rigmarole of warranties and, what if you have a problem? Oh, what do I do if I return? Stick with the US, and that's what this video is about. if you're on a, if you're, we all need a cell phone carrier. We all need one. And buying unlocked phones, meaning, you can put them on different providers, is to your advantage. They don't want you to do that. Now, I'm not trying to stray you out of your contract or sway you out of your contract and tell you that you're doing it wrong. I'm just giving you some opinions and options thrown on the table for you. These aren't the best options. These are just some options. So this phone right here, I feel like is offering a lot for $200. Now this phone is beautiful and offers a whole bunch for $200, design and everything, but it's still on a 720p display. And I think for the same price, you get stereo speakers over here. You also get a headphone jack. They took away the headphone jack on here. It's just simple things like that. Spread your money out. Now that phone is blazing fast and really good, sexy hardware. It's got a smaller display, but this phone right here has a 1080p display, and it's got a 6-inch display, and it's got really good cameras on here, man. Fingerprint reader just like this one, but it just offers that headphone jack with the better build quality, the metal size and everything. Now, granted, this phone does look better, but this one is just offering a little bit more on paper and on hardware. So performance, I think they're about the same. That phone doesn't have a Snapdragon. It has a Helio P25. This one has a Snapdragon 435. Wish they would have put the 600 series in here, but they didn't. But the phone still flows along with 3 gigs of RAM. And again, you have the SD card with the 32 gigs onboard storage. The cameras on here are nice. You've got that ridged power button that ZTE does. It is just a good option for a person that wants to live unlocked. And I think when you start to get into paying $1,000 for a phone, you really got to question yourself. Don't worry about the YouTubers doing it. YouTubers do it because they get a return on it. Meaning they've got tons of videos out there that they're getting paid off of for us watching, and that's the reality of it. They get paid for us, when we watch the videos, and that's just it. So that's how the YouTubers can maintain and buy a bunch of different phones and things like that. So, take YouTubers' advice for about that much. You do it yourself. You find your own way. You navigate how you want to spend your money. But, I would tell a person, try to save money first. I would rather take a risk on a $200 phone than a $1,000 phone and not like it and have to go through the return process or get stuck with it. It's something to think about. These phones right here are not offered on carriers. They're all unlocked, but they work on all of today's carriers. So this is something that you probably should consider if you're thinking about buying a new phone. Think about how much the taxes are when you put down on that $1,000 phone. It's going to be at least $100 in taxes, depending on where you live, $80 on the low side. Then you've got to pay a monthly payment for it when you can just buy a phone full cost. So think about that. Consider that. I'm not trying to sell you on these phones. I'm just saying in general, look at your options next time your phone breaks. And plus insurance. Insurance is like $15 a month for these very expensive phones. And with this phone, if you break it, you can just go buy another one. It's only $200. You can just buy another because the deductible in most cases is about $175 or so. So consider those options, man. These are just a few options. Again, these aren't the best options. I'm not saying these are the best phones, but these are some serious contenders now, especially with phones getting 1080p 6-inch displays. And then I've got flagship phones, so to speak, with better processors, better cameras and everything, but they still have a 1080p display in the 6 inches. You see what I'm saying? Or sometimes smaller. So it's up to you to decide what you want to do, but I just want to start assisting again, guys, with saving you guys money. I know I review a lot of high-end phones, and I used to review a lot of pocket-friendly budget phones, and I think I'll probably go back to that route. I'm not sure yet if that's what I want to do, but we got to start somewhere, and I want to keep you guys informed. This is a good option, so you choose what you want to do, but it's your man Jay. Quick discussion video. I think that's why the ZTE Blade Max View is such a good option nowadays, man. All of these, the Blade S2S and the new Mobile G3, and they're all good options, along with some Motorola phones too. It's your man Jay. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.